go first. I'll let the incumbent have the honor.
I'll go first. I think I know most everybody out here. I'm Tofanelli. I'm the current county supervisor. A little bit, sorry Dick, I'll speak up a little bit so you can hear me. I want to say something first as a disclaimer to what Jeff was talking about earlier. He said that the chamber members were asked to give questions. I'm a chamber member, and I did not submit any questions tonight. And I did not see any of the questions.
Can you speak up?
Dick, back here.
Can you sit up here? Can you move up here so you can hear, Dick?
We're in the senior citizen section.
Okay. Well, I'll talk as loud as I can, okay?
It's about time.
I said I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm a member of the board, okay? But I did not submit any questions for tonight's forum. I did not see any of the questions that were asked or submitted. So I'm coming into it just as Cliff is. I have no idea what the questions are out here. A little bit about myself. I am a businessman. I have owned my own business for about 22 years, very close to 22 years. Been very successful at it. Before that, I worked for a company that I was direct supervisor for about 300 people. It was a major steel fabrication plant based in Stockton. It was called Stockton Steel. I was the superintendent there. I started at the very bottom there, worked 21 years. From the very bottom, I worked myself up to running that plant. Then I left to start my own company. My family is from Amador County. My grandfather was chief of police there in the 50s and 60s. His name was Guy Tofanelli. I was born in Sacramento, but I was more or less raised in Jackson. At that time, the hospital was not there for births. So I was born in Sacramento and brought to Jackson, kind of born and raised there. Moved to Stockton, graduated from high school at Stagg High School in Stockton, spent the last 2 years there. My wife had just walked in. I've been married to her for 41 years, close to 41 years, not quite. We were high school sweethearts. I met her there at Stagg High School. We have 2 children. I have one child that's 40 years old, but I still call him a child because he's my son. I have 3 grandchildren from him. He lives in Hawaii, a lucky guy. I have another son that works for me. He's 36 years old. He has 3 children, so I have a total of 6 grandchildren. They were all here over the summer at our house, and it was wonderful. They were visiting Hawaii. Grandchildren were visiting for 2 weeks, and spent me a minute. 15 seconds. And we had a wonderful time, and I'd hate to see them go, but at the same time, it was bittersweet because 2 weeks is 6 kids and everything. When you're used to just living with your wife, it gets to be very handful. So, thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cliff Edson. I'm running for Calaveras County District 1 Supervisor. And I'm married to my beautiful wife, Sylvia, who's up here in the front row. And I own a small business in Calaveras County. It's a small restaurant called Country Cliffs. We've been there for, it'll be 7 years, November 16th. So we feel very lucky at this point. It's been a real struggle, but we're still there. Been involved in community functions all my life, since I was out of high school. I've lived in Tracy for 23 years and belonged to the Rotary Club down there and did a number of things, including Battle Against Drug program that I wrote, actually. I am very happy to be here. And I mean, this is just almost a blessing. It is a blessing. So, and the reason I feel that way is I have an opportunity right now. This is my opportunity to make a positive impact on Calaveras County, where I live, where I work, particularly in District 1. And I'd like, you know, everything I do, everything I've done since I've been up here is to try to make the area around me everywhere around me a better place to live. We bought an old Victorian home in San Andreas. It was about to fall down. And my wife and I worked on it very hard. It took me 1 year to get it jacket up 19 inches on one side so we could put a stem wall underneath it. And it's now become one of the town's favorite places to drive by. From what I gather, you know, people are giving us the thumbs up all the time, so that's pretty neat. So I like to try to make this little world around this small county in California, part of our world, a better place to live and to work. That's why I'm here tonight. And I believe that's why you guys are here tonight, because you're interested in seeing that happen. So it's our future. It's our present. We live here every single day. We go through some of us work here, some of us are retired here. There's a ton of retired folks here. But this is our future. And it'd be nice to be able to walk downtown and feel comfortable and see it thrive. And that's why I'm here. I believe you're here like I'm here, and that's because you care about this county just like me. Okay?
Thank you, Cliff. We're going to alternate these. We'll take turns answering the question first, and so please keep me on track. If I happen to get off, I'll try to keep track. But we'll start now with Cliff. I'm going to ask you guys both the same question. But the first question is: we're currently expecting negative growth in Calaveras County for the first time in decades. How can you maintain an acceptable level of public safety with a declining budget? Cliff.
Well, we need to put people to work. It's declining because people are leaving the county to find work. And then when they leave the county to find work, they go live there. You know, we have people that graduate from high school. They don't stick around. They leave. They have nothing here to keep them here. I mean, I can supply them a job, you know, minimum wage. What's that going to do for them? You can go work at Taco Bell or McDonald's when it comes here. What's that going to do for us? It doesn't sustain a house payment, and then they can't even find a place to live because there's no affordable housing for them, really. So the only real answer to that is to find a way to create jobs here in the county and retain our people here.
Okay, thank you. Gary?
What was the question again? Repeat it.
We're currently experiencing negative growth in Calaveras County for the first time in decades. How can you maintain an acceptable level of public safety with a declining budget?
The question is, how do we maintain an acceptable level of public safety? And again, you know, declining numbers, I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know where that statistic is coming from. I did read some statistics about California here back in January that people are leaving California itself. Here in Calaveras County, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of positive things happening here recently, especially in District 1. There's a couple new businesses coming in here. There are some businesses coming into San Andreas. I just helped a business owner yesterday on St. Charles Street who wanted to do something to expand his business. He was running into some problems with it, but he called me. I went in and helped him get through it. It looks like it's going to be happening there in St. Charles Street. There's another business going in St. Charles Street, down where McDonald's was scheduled to go in San Andreas. It's called a Dollar Market. Those people were very, 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 very happy when they found out what our permit fees for what they were trying to do were versus where they've been expanding all over the state and some of the fees in other places. I helped them through some of the problems they were having experienced there. I got involved, I wrote some letters. So I think there are positive things coming. I went through a meat processing plant thing last night, program about what it would take and the business plans that were all involved there to get it here in District 1. Actually, over at the Budweiser plant there in San Andreas, it was talked about using that because it's a cold storage facility. They were talking about putting 30 to 40 people to work there. So I think there's a lot of positive things. I don't know where the negative thing is coming from, but I do know that I have been working very hard in District 1 since the turn of the economy over the course of the last, as we all know, the recession for the last 3 years has been one of the worst in California since the 30s. But there are positive things coming to keep people here in Calaveras County and up the tax rolls.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next question from the audience here today is, and I'll read it, but I'll change it here a little bit. It says, what is your ideas for getting a new pound for the area? I assume they're talking about
Animal shelter?
Animal shelter.
Well, we just turned over the animal shelter to environmental health. Brian Moss is a very, very good guy. He has some plans. I was discussing just yesterday with him out in front of Government Center some of the plans. We talked about where the current animal shelter is. After the jail gets done and after the court building gets done, there's about a 10-acre parcel there that the county owns that we can level off. He wants to use that 10-acre parcel and expand on the existing facilities, so we don't have to purchase new facilities or new property somewhere else with the Humane Society. Partner with them and use some of the monies that they're raising. They're talking about having to raise $2 million or $1.5 million, $2 million to put up a new facility. To use some of the monies that they have already to put in some infrastructure for that 10-acre parcel. It would hold pens and corrals for horses or cattle or sheep or whatever that's been confiscated. It would expand on the current facility and put a new building in there. So there are some plans going forward there. I don't think where it was proposed when I was on the board earlier last year, where it was proposed down across from the library, that floods a lot down there. It's not really a good area down there. There was also talk about, we decided that one of the best places would be off the after the bypass Highway 4 went to Angels Camp, the old highway there. There's a parcel that was turned back over to the county. There's not a lot. There is some infrastructure there, but the cost to get the infrastructure out there was immense. It was more than what the building cost itself. So I think one of the options that Brian brought forward and talked about with me made a lot of sense. And then it stays right there in San Andreas, it stays at Government Center, and it stays under control where we can still have a handle on it, and everybody's more centrally located. And I think that's what the Humane Society was looking at too, was keeping it somewhere near San Andreas.
Brian Moss has been working on this even before he took over the animal shelter. He's done a lot of interesting things, like taking a look at the fees that are charged and trying to get those in line with a real world animal shelter that can be at least break even. Because right now it costs everybody money. The Humane Society has a pretty good opportunity right now because what they want to do is they want to take it over eventually, and wherever it is. And it sounds like Brian's got a pretty good place for it up there, and I would agree with that. They want to take it over eventually, and they actually have a pretty good opportunity because the county has offered, I think it was $174,000 for 4 positions, for them, for Brian Moss's team to take it. And in my mind, you can move forward a little quicker by contracting that out to Humane Society, but I don't think they're ready for that yet. You know, they're kind of stuck on the building, and they need to realize this opportunity because that's money that they could be generating right now for that shelter and the care of the animals. So, yeah, Government Center would be a good place for it, right where it is. Humane Society, I think, will do a great job. They're one of the most organized groups out there. They fundraise better than anybody I know. And once they realize the potential that they have, and all they have to do is reach out and grab it, I think it'll be a good situation.
All right, thank you. Now we'll start again with Cliff. And this question is, do you think, it says here Valley Springs, but I assume it means Calaveras County needs a community college, and if so, what would you do to help get one?
I can't hear you.
Move up. I know, I'll wait.
I'm all right, I'm fine, thanks.
You all right there, Dick?
He's having trouble hearing.
Okay.
There is room up front, you guys.
I'm fine, thank you.
You want to sit up here?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Yes, we need a community college. One way to keep our talent here. Community college also promotes small businesses around it for support. I know that Delta has, I know the county has tried with Delta. I know that there's some problems there. I know that we're still giving Delta money, and I don't believe that it's a dead issue. I know that we have a gentleman, Dave Tanner, is running for the Delta College Board, and I believe that that would help because we would have some representation from Calaveras County there. But yes, we have a unique situation for a college here, or a junior college. Jackson would come. We got Angels Camp, the kids in Angels Camp, the kids in Calaveras, and then we'd probably be drawing some people from Stockton too, because if you have any kids that are in college and they're trying to get into Columbia or Delta, you'll realize that they can't always get classes. So they're battling for classes now. Our problem is here is it's never been justified for the amount of people that would house that college. So I think it would be a dream for Calaveras County to have a junior college here, and I think it's actually long overdue.
Gary?
Is that Steve I see over there? That's Steve Castellanos, who is actually on the Delta board. He lives here in Calaveras County. I've met with Steve lots of times, several times, over the same issue. I've talked with, everybody's talked about the CO. I've gone with the CO. I've had many meetings with different organizations on CO's property over here, and what he sees is his vision, not only for a college, satellite college campus there, but he has some other ideas on a lot of different other things that he wants to do. Myself, I've advocated for that. I've advocated for other areas in the county. I would do anything I possibly could to get a college here. Steve knows that. I tried the first 2 years of my term. I spent a lot of time devoted to this. The economic times that were being experienced all through not only this state, this county, but this nation over the course of the last 2 or 3 years has played a big impact on education. We read about it all the time. We read about teachers getting laid off. You read about this. You read about all kinds of things that have to do with education. One of the things that are based upon the numbers for them to consider a college has to do with full-time students and being able to maintain a full-time student role in order to get state funds for those students in order to maintain a college campus. Those are some of the things that we're fighting. I'm still working on it. I mentioned my 2 years, but I'm still in the foreground, still working on it. I'm still going forward trying to get something here, whether it's in District 1, 2, 4, 5, I don't care. College campus here would benefit the businesses and our people and young people. So.
Okay, the next question is for Gary. Calaveras County has rich water rights and resources. What are you doing, or what would you do in cooperation with Calaveras County Water District to preserve and develop our county's most important natural resource?
Well, Jeff's on the board. He's a board member. He's actually the rep down here. He knows I've been involved with a lot of the joint powers agreements that we have between different water agencies in different counties. There was a meeting today that I missed that had to do with the CAMRA, which is Calaveras Amador McCollum River Watershed. I had something else I couldn't attend, but that's one of the things I'm doing. We're working toward protecting our water rights there. The San Joaquin Valley area wants to come up and take point of origin, which we are point of origin in this county. They want to take claim to some of the for a while. We wrote letters protesting that. We're staying on top of that. There's also another one, another JTA that has to do with the McCollum River watershed with East Bay Lead over in Part E. I'm on that board also, and that one has to do with an integrated regional water plan, which is needed by the state in order for you to qualify for, which the way things are now, grant money to do projects. Jeff knows that one of those projects had to do with replacing some wood storage tanks over in the West Point area that we got money through that particular JPA. But I've partnered with CCWD on many things. I've been involved with CCWD. I've been involved not only with them, but the other smaller water districts and sewer districts, sanitary districts that we have in this county. I was involved in the Wallace, one down in Wallace, and them going forward to be engulfed by CCWD in order for them to stay afloat.
Let's not put it that way.
It's getting more and more difficult with the restraint that the state's putting on not only your water, but your sanitary, in order to.
Do you need that ready again?
No, that's good. All right. I've talked to a few people about water. I know that there's, I won't mention their names, there's two ladies in Wallace that worked tirelessly to get their agreement with CCWD. And I would say that they're probably the ones that did it, 90% of it. I've talked to a few people on the water, in the water districts, CCWD, and they don't feel that they have a really good relationship with the Board of Supervisors. And so I have an issue with that. I think that in order for us to move forward as a county, I feel that we need to make partners with not only CCWD, but the water district in San Andreas and also the sewer districts. And there's not real happy vibes going on there either. So, you know, I guess it depends on which perspective you got to look at. But I'm hearing a whole different story here on how well Board of Supervisors is working with these special districts. So my goal would be to make sure that we partner up with them and do what's right for the county. Do whatever we can to get the things that we need. They're the experts. CCWD is the expert. The special districts, they're the experts, and the Board of Supervisors should be working with them to create that partnership to make our county more secure on our water rights and take care of our sewer and solid waste. So the solid waste issue, you know, people heard that there may be a increase in solid waste. Well, there's a few questions I have about that too, and maybe I'll talk about that in a little while.
Just so you know, the yellow is, we have 15 more seconds.
Yeah, it wouldn't work then.
Okay, we're on Cliff now, right? Okay, this question is, the ring fees, and for those of you that may not know, the road impact mitigation fees, for some businesses like a theater, which are over $170,000 per screen, seem to not make sense, and are a deterrent for new business. As today, most in District 1 must drive 30 miles on our county roads to see a movie. If a theater was located in Valley Springs, they would travel less on the roads to see a movie. Do you believe the rim fees are fair?
All right. There are folks out there that I see right now that know we're going to disagree on this. But that's okay. That's okay. Rim fees are necessary in a lot of cases because somebody comes in, does a big project, and then they leave, and then the county is left with whatever impact there is on that. I understand. Businesses, since I'm a business guy, right? Businesses should have a break, especially in a county like ours who doesn't seem to be able to attract any businesses. I mean, if you look on either side of us, Tuolumne or Amador, all kinds of businesses. And you know, I'm not saying that we want that. San Joaquin County, all kinds of businesses, but here we are with none or very little. So I feel that the rim fee could be adjusted for some businesses. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why. Because if you bring that business here and we spend our money here and we employ our people here, then that money, about 74% of that money stays here. And it keeps going around in here. Right now, what it's doing is leaving. And so our tax base drops, our services drop, and everything that we love about this place that makes it so pristine gets impacted. So I'm not saying that we need to drop the rent fee, but we certainly should look at it and see if we can't make some concessions for a business that comes in and contributes to the community by offering jobs and a tax base.
Okay. Do I know who wrote this question? Are road impact fees fair? Or is that what, are they fair? Is that what it said? Or is it?
Yes. Do you believe the rent fees are fair?
You know, when the RIM impact fees were put into existence, I was not on this board. They came up many different times during the course of my 4 years. Although there hasn't been a lot of development seen, but they were primarily meant for the impacts of developments, much like, you know, La Catena, when it was made, when it was formed over there and came into existence, the RIM fees weren't involved in there. There was no impact fees there charged there. Rancho the same way. What Jeff is talking about is there was somebody trying to put a theater in right down here in Valley Springs, and the road impact fees came back $170,000. But I'll tell you this, the planning department and Public Works has some discretion on those road impact fees. So are they fair? I would have to say, I would have to sit down and look at each instance that they're being applied to and what the thought between how they're being applied by Public Works or planning is fair for the instance that they're trying to do. Because there is discretion there on them. It's not all chiseled in stone that says you have so many square feet for a commercial building. There's some guidelines for them to use for that. You can go to that chart, but there is some discretion for them to be used on some impact as far as traffic counts when they come in with a project or they come in submit a plan. They're supposed to have some traffic studies done, and they can make some adjustments on those traffic studies for each specific project. But I wasn't involved in this movie screen. I was not on board then. So, but I was told they did tell them $170,000.
Okay, we'll move on to the general plan questions. There are actually two questions here. I believe they will go together. I'm going to read them both. How will you help reconcile the three Valley Springs community plans, the old 1974 plan, the two proposed new updates? And then the other question is, do you support the planning department's draft general plan update land use map? You guys want to take it together or separate?
Separate question.
Okay, let's just go with the first one. How will you help reconcile the three community plans?
How will you reconcile the three community plans? Well, I think community plans that are in existence right now are the one is 1996. That's the one being used. There has not come to the Board of Supervisors either one of the two plans that being talked about. The board did give direction to give one preference over the other and make it the #1 preference. Those plans have not gone forward yet. I know some in District 2 have gone to the Planning Commission, but the ones in District 1 have not gone there yet. Neither has Wallace, Valley Springs has, San Andreas has not. None of those have gone there. I supported all of the community plans except for the one that was based on a Caltrans grant through COG. That one was the one that was given lower priority by the board. I think we could probably use some of the items in that particular plan, but I don't think that that particular plan, in my opinion, or a lot of other people's opinion, fits well with the existing town and the existing structures that we have here. It expands enormously outside the boundaries of the 1996 plan. And there's a lot of things that's being required in there that a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, did not agree with. So I went with the majority of people, and I think there are some parts of that plan that can be integrated into the existing 96 plan, along with the plan that was revised, plan that was given number one priority by the board.
I've worked a little bit with the San Andreas plan and the mobility plan there. And the nice thing about that is it was a one community plan. And so that made it a little simpler. In Valley Springs, there's three. You got one plan that's, the old one was 1996. Then you got one that was done with a community project. And then you have another one which was brought in after that. And so instead of figuring out a way for a community to work together to create one plan, you have three plans and two entities working against each other. And how are you going to create a community when you have that situation? It will not work, it's impossible. Unless somebody just ramrods it right through. So, the way I would try to do it is, I like to get people to work together on issues, and so that they can find the commonality of things. That's how things get put together. And both plans probably have a lot of commonalities once you take out the personal agendas. And I think that Valley Springs needs it desperately, because I walk around here quite a bit and talk to people. I've heard all the sides, well, two of them anyhow, and the other side just really don't talk to me. So I think that it's going to be kind of miserable around here for quite a while if people don't learn how to work together, and that's what we need to do: learn how to work together.
Okay, real quickly we'll move on to the second part of that question. Do you support the planning department's draft general plan update land use map? I believe it's close to.
Could you repeat it, please?
Sure. Do you support the planning department's draft general plan update land use map?
General plan?
Wake up.
Yes. Rebecca Willis, that's what we're talking about, right? The county. Rebecca Willis is probably the best planner we've had in a very, very long time. She knows what she's doing. I've watched her time after time, and I'm a big supporter. She knows what she's doing. We should follow, everything has to be decided by the Board of Supervisors, right? And the Planning Commission. But she's got a really good feel on what Calaveras is, what direction it needs to go, and what we need to do in order for us to have a real functionable, comfortable, nice community. And I think that we got a good dose of that the other day when we were in a planning meeting for the project over in Copper with Castle and Cook. And she was kind of masterful that day. She was negotiating, for the county. She had the best interest of the county at her mind, and she had her hand on it. And I heard a lot of things about, oh, geez, this, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. But I was watching her; she knew what she was doing. So, Rebecca is a professional. We need people like her in the county to keep it straight, and that's what I have to say about our plan. She'll finish it. She'll finish the general plan if she gets a chance. If she stopped, if everybody would leave her alone and just let her do her job.
Gary?
Do I support the land use designations in the general plan? Is that what the question is?
It does not say land use, it says the update land use map.
The
Draft
updated
general
land
plan,
use map.
update
So the
land
land, you know, this came before the board, and the initial one I did not. I did not agree with it because they had all of the properties down here under resource production. And to me, that designation is gonna be a problem to the people that have 5-acre lots, 10-acre lots, 20-acre lots, 40-acre lots. When they go to sell their property, when they try to go to refinance their property, when they try to get financing to build a house on it, it's gonna raise a red flag to a lot of lenders saying, what's resource production? What is that? It hasn't come before the board as the exact definition of that yet. There's a lot of people down here in this area of the county that some of the supervisors up there demanded we have 40-acre parcels. We have 150 acre. He wants to increase it to 150 acre parcels. A lot of people in this area, the way this area of the county has been developed over a long period of time, many years by the Board of Supervisors, to be able to divide them into 5-acre lots, even smaller in Rancho. A lot of people have their life investments here in 40-acre lots. They planned on retiring here. That's their nest egg. They want to split it. They want to sell 5-acre parcels on their 40-acre parcel to finance their dream home and have their nest egg to live on. They believe in Calaveras County in this area. They invested in Calaveras County. They still have their investment here in Calaveras County. If you start putting tags on them that has nothing to do and called resource production, because the rest of the county has trees on it, it has mines on it, it has whatever on it, that those people were trying to put all lumped into one, it's not going to work. We're not the same in this area as they are in other areas of this county. We're very diverse in this county. All 5 districts are different.
So do you support it?
Do I support it? I support the changes that were made, yes.
All right, last planning question that I have here. Planning staff, I believe this is Gary starts this, is that right? Planning staff just recommended the denial of Castle and Cook Sawmill project in Copperopolis for several reasons. One was because the Calaveras County General Plan is still, after I believe 7 years, still after 7 years inadequate. Is there a moratorium in Calaveras County until the plan is approved? And when will the plan be approved?
No, there's not a moratorium. I got a subdivision last year approved right here in Valley Springs area, right down the road on Highway 12, Las Marias, Las Tres Marias. That subdivision was approved. So no, the particular subdivision that you're talking about right now has some major EIR problems on it. Major EIR problems on it. And they're trying to get them resolved. Even the person that submitted it, Castle and Cook, he's the one that asked for a 90-day continuance to try and get some of those resolved. So no, there's not a moratorium here in Calaveras County, at least not in my district. I will work with whoever to get things done. That's what I have been doing. That's what I will continue to do. What was the other part of the question?
When will the general plan be complete?
That question, I will say this. The other day we were told 18 months. I disagreed with that. I've gone to some people and talked to them about streamlining this general plan and getting it done in a timely manner. I would like to see it completed within 9 months. I think that's doable. I think that's possible. I think it's time to start shedding all of this stuff. We need to get down before the general plan. We can get it approved. Once it's approved, we can start adding on a lot of other things. But right now, one of the things we need to do, we need to concentrate on, is completing this general plan. I think you're going to see some announcements made here in the next couple of weeks that will address getting the general plan completed.
Good.
All right, can you repeat it for me?
So planning staff recommended denial of Castle and Cook Sawmill project in Copperopolis because the county's general plan, after 7 years, is still inadequate. Is there a moratorium in Calaveras County until the plan is approved? When will the plan be approved?
Okay. Well, if you ask the general public, there is a moratorium, but we keep hearing from the supervisors there's not. And I'm not aware of any moratorium, but people seem to think there is. Castle and Cook, yes, I approve and I agree with what Rebecca did with the planning. It wasn't Rebecca, but the planning commission decided for Castle and Cook. And there's a lot of issues there, including some conservation issues. There's, do you know that if they finish, they're going to increase the county's, the county will have 40,000 more residents in it. Right now we have 45,000. It seems a little bit, I mean, they aren't building just a little tract, they're building a whole city. So we shouldn't rush into that. And there's all kinds of issues around circulation, you know, roads, schools, fire protection, water, sewer, you name it. There's a lot to think about. And so Rebecca recognized that, and she took a beating. I got to tell you, but she stuck to her guns, and I was very proud of her for doing that. And the Planning Commission took her advice, and they voted against that. But we all know that we would like to have some of that growth here, because that also creates jobs and it creates tax base. But it has to be some kind of a compromise that the county could live with, and something that the county is not going to have to go back later and pay for, and something that is going to be easy for citizens and residents to live with. So yes, I agree.
Okay, do you support encouraging the Targets and Walmarts of the world to locate in Calaveras County? Also, Tractor Supply just opened in Jackson. Why do you think they chose Amarillo County instead of Calaveras County?
Is that mine? I am not a Walmart fan. I tell that to anybody. Walmart to me comes in, they take away the lifeblood of the community, they take away small businesses that are here, they put people to work for $8 and $10 an hour, and they destroy people's entrepreneurship and businesses. I don't think that's an answer. I think there are other answers out there. Gary was talking about the Dollar General, that it's called Dollar General, by the way. That's up in, that wants to go in San Andreas, and that is a variety store, and they'll sell some things there. I would much rather see a Target, to tell you the truth, or a Ross, or something like that, to where a lot of the seniors around here wouldn't have to travel over to Jackson or Tuolumne, or especially down to Stockton, to shop for underwear or some other things. And I support that kind of stuff. Personally, I'd rather see a small business or an entrepreneur come in and open up something. But it seems like our country has kind of beat the heck out of those folks, so there's not a whole lot of them out there anymore. So we need something here to be able to not spend our money in other counties. That's a fact. So but I am not a fan of Walmart, I'm sorry. And I probably won't be. I don't care how many of you talk to me about it.
Do you support encouraging the Targets and the Walmarts of the world to locate in Calaveras County? Also, Tractor Supply just opened in Jackson. Why do you think they chose Amarillo County instead of Calaveras County?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm in favor of. I'm in favor of property rights. I'm in favor of what built this country. I'm in favor of free enterprise. I don't think if you have a piece of property, and if it's 20 acres, 40 acres, 60 acres, and it's zoned, that's what the zoning laws are for, and that's what you want to put there, and it's a permitted use, then you have every right in the world to put it there. Although I'm sure if Walmart came in here and wanted to go buy 20 acres right here on Highway 12, And it would probably be like Lodi that they were trying to do down there. There would be a lot of lawsuits that other people and organizations and people would file to try and stop it. But as a supervisor, I gotta uphold the law. That's part of my job. If the person has the right to do it on their property, they have a permitted right to do. If they wanna follow down the path to rezone something or go down whatever path for a general plan amendment, then they can go down that path. But if you have a piece of property and you own it, you bought it for a specific reason, and you have property rights, you have every right to do what you want to do if it has permitted use on it. That's what made us great as a nation. Free enterprise made us great. If that's what people want to have here, that's what people need to have, that's fine. Would I support a Target? Would I support anything like that? If it's a permitted use and they came to me and asked for me to help them get through guidance, I certainly would. That's their prerogative. They have those property rights. Why did Tractor Supply choose Jackson? That I can't answer because I don't really know. I do know that there's a lot of infrastructure over there in Jackson that's been going on for a long time. We don't have a lot of infrastructure here. We're not in incorporated cities that they have over there that can put in the infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. Everybody doing okay? Do you guys want to continue just on through, or do you want to take a break? Doing okay? All right. Okay, there's a couple questions about traffic. I'll just read the most basic one. What will you do to improve the traffic pattern in Valley Springs? Gary.
I think that, I don't know what you're talking about the intersection down here, or they're talking about in Valley Springs. Since I've been involved in as a supervisor, we've had Highway 12 here improved. We have Highway 26 where a deadly curve was improved down there. Those are just coming to an end right now, all those improvements, and if you've been down there, it's very, very nice. The intersection here in 12, before I became on board, there was agreements already made. Caltrans had a study in 2004. They were going to do improvements to that intersection no matter what. They had improvements that they were going to put in a stoplight there that would tore out the entire downtown. There was some community, in 2008 agreement, before I came on board, agreement was struck with the county and Caltrans, that the county would be the lead agency of it. However, Caltrans would hold over authority and the approving authority of anything done to that intersection. There were some public meetings that were held. There was a big roundabout that was proposed that would tear out half the town. There was the light Caltrans with a 6-lane intersection going down through there. That didn't go over good. It was proposed that the ones that was proposed, is going to happen starting here next month, is free right-hand turn coming up Highway 12, free left-hand turn lane coming down, going on to Highway 26, free right-hand coming this way, going into town. It's going to keep the town as it is. The aesthetics of the town will not destroy the town itself. It'll have some improvements on it, and we can all go with some improvements there to make it, to beautify it, but it will keep all the old buildings intact. It will improve traffic, and it will improve traffic through 2036 and beyond, according to the studies. If you want to read the full studies on that, where it did not, the queuing, what they call queuing, which is stacking of cars with an intersection with a light, it beats that and the roundabout, if you want to read the full study.
I read a study on it from Public Works, and maybe I didn't read the full study because they didn't give it to me, but that would be a transparency issue. It said that it would be good until 2021. And it gives you a level like A to F on your traffic. So your A is really good, F is really bad. So it's F at its worst over here right now, which is about what, 1 or 2 hours a day maybe, if school's in. So I've been in a little worse traffic situations like myself, just living downtown Tracy. But they said that it would improve to a C, maximum. So we're going to spend a couple of $1 million on improving a 1-hour traffic jam to a C rating for 9 years. I don't know, you do the math, it doesn't sound real good to me. I think the permanent fix for that, and they're gonna tear out a building over here. So aesthetically, if you wanna talk about aesthetics and keeping downtown the way it is and all that, is gonna change dramatically when that building leaves. The fix, I've talked to a few people around, and there was a plan to bring it from where Jeff has his place out there where the 26 and Hogan Dam Road is, to take it over to Lime Creek. So take 26 to Lime Creek. That's the fix. That's a permanent fix. That's where all that traffic's coming from. 26 to go to the intersection to go up to Toyon. That's the fix. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to bypass the hotel, but we can at least take take the pressure off that intersection by doing that.
Okay, there are several questions here regarding kind of the common feature. It seems that many of these questions are business related, not just from the chamber, but from the audience here. I think that there's one of them reads, what specific actions are necessary for improving the local economy? The other is, what are your plans to bring businesses and manufacturing into the county? And then this last one, what county and other agencies will you work with to help bring businesses to the county, and specifically, what is your plan? And I like this third one. This is the question I want to ask. What county and other agencies will you work with to help bring businesses into the county, and specifically, what is your plan to attract jobs and businesses? Who's up?
Cliff.
Cliff.
Okay, so which question are you asking?
I'm asking this, I'll read it one more time. What county and other agencies will you work with to help bring businesses into the county, and specifically, what is your plan for jobs and businesses?
You know, we have, in Valley Springs, we have a pretty unique opportunity, because there's a gentleman that has about 571 acres out here that wants to develop that, and it's light industrial. Problem is, we can't move on it. There's, you know, the county has a stigma for being unfriendly to businesses. So to move forward, in February or March, I think the Chamber of Commerce made a statement that they absorbed the, what was that group you guys absorbed, the economic development group. So, and they were going out to go out and do some studies and try to bring some businesses in. I would work with the Chamber of Commerce, because you need folks like that. I would also I would like to create a commission, and there's a lot of retired people up here that are retired from high-powered businesses. And I talked to quite a few of them in the restaurant, and there's a few of them that are very interested in trying to help Calaveras with its economics. Well, you create that commission. The board, and Gary was part of that, created a commission for Parks and Recreation countywide a few years back, and they were successful in bringing in a few $1 million, $5.6 million of grant money and things for this county for that. Why can't we do that with another commission to help us bring economics in? Well, part of it is the county has to get past this. And you know, you can sit up there and say, we're open for business all you want, but unless you can prove it by rolling out the red carpet for some of these businesses to come in here, and I'm talking about light manufacturing, because that's the people that will give us our economic base and put people to work, then we're going to just sit here like this. So that's what we need to do.
What county and other agencies will you work with to help bring businesses into the county, and specifically, what is your plan for jobs and business?
Well, let me say this, no matter what you're trying to do, you need 3 votes on the county board of supervisors. It takes 3 votes. And a lot of these things, there's some mindset there that tell you what I've done. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm a board member there. I'm also a member of the EDC, this commission they was talking about, Economic Development Corporation. On that is exactly what he's talking about, retired people from the community. We're meeting, as a matter of fact, tomorrow. And there's a board meeting tomorrow, before the board meeting. We have been discussing what needs to be done. I'm a member of that. I've been involved in that. I left the chamber for a little while because I had a little disagreement on a little issue down the western end of the county down here. But I did come back onto the board about 6 months ago. I'm a successful business owner over the last 22 years, as I mentioned, so I have a little bit of idea about business and what it takes to be successful and what it takes to get businesses in. As I said, in District 1, you're going to be seeing a lot of changes here, and it has to do with the efforts of me of bringing businesses into District 1. The other districts are not, but this district is going to start moving, and you'll start seeing that real quick here over the course of the next few months. The other things that I've done that people don't remember, when I first got on this board 4 years ago, there was a little thing called the CDA, or the Community Development Agency. It was a quagmire. It was just absolutely anybody that came into this county and tried to do anything, especially if you were a builder or anything, you couldn't do anything over there with that. One of the first things I did when I got on board was vote to get rid of that, and I got 3 votes to do that. We now have Jeff White in the building department. We've got a good planning department head there, and those are positive things to help move that I've done to help move this county forward and this district forward to get jobs here and be
Thank you. Okay, there's 2 questions that are the same here. They're both in regards to Cosgrove Creek. In a nutshell, Gary, I suppose give us an update on what the status is of Cosgrove Creek. It's still moving forward. And then the question is, if elected, what will you do about Cosgrove Creek?
Well, I'll give you a quick update on what's going on with that. We were waiting for the LiDAR to come in and the FEMA maps to be finished. And it's supposed to be, that information is supposed to be available here late November, early December. But there is, if people don't remember, I will tell them that there is a feasibility study that is being done with the county, and I'm on that with the Corps of Engineers to find a project that will relieve long-term flooding for the Cosgrove Creek area down here. That's going to be wrapping up probably next year sometime, and then with that study we'll be able to be eligible for some federal dollars for flood relief. In the meantime, I was able to get, as most people know, I was able to work with the Corps of Fish and Game, Fish and Wildlife to get relief as far as get the vegetation eradicated from the channel itself. That's been a yearly process that's helped over the last few years on flooding. It will be done again this year. It will start here next month. We can only do it through October and November during those months. So that's after the CDF people have finished the fire season has ended. They can come in and help do that. Sandbagging, I've made sandbags available throughout this area that weren't there before. You can get them in many areas, by the Shell station over here by the fire department. There's a lot of places, and some of them, when they have time, Public Works goes over there and fills them, so all you have to do is put them in the back of your truck. There's always a mound of sand there, there's always sandbags there. But Cosgrove Creek, yes, in the next year or so, we should have a study completed that we can go after federal dollars, because it was a federal agency that gave us this study and the paperwork complete and say, here's the project, this will work, now we need funding for it.
What?
Well, because there's not much left. Except I've seen plans to fix the problem in Cosgrove Creek. Has to do with cleaning it out, of course. Also has to do with a couple of holding ponds that would take when it's raining a lot, floodwaters, and it would send them into the pond to baffle it out and meter it into Cosgrove, where you would have a big issue like you have now. What that would also do, because the Army Corps would be involved with that, and also Department of Fish and Wildlife, what that would do would, if FEMA gets in there, gets involved with it, and you are able to control the floodplain in that area, you could possibly get those folks relieved from the eight or however many $100s they're paying each month, each year now for their extra insurance bill. And so there's ways of doing it. Just got to work hard to do it. So I don't know too much about it. I've only talked to a few people about it, but this is the things that I've learned about it.
Okay, we're about 5 minutes over what we said, but I only have five or six questions left. You want to continue? Everyone okay with everybody? Gary and Cliff, you guys okay? Yeah. Okay. We have one here. Says, what will it take for the county to have a full-time veterans service officer? Who's that? Cliff's up.
I can honestly stand here and tell you that I don't know.
I know who asked this question. What's it going to take? Well, it's going to take, that particular position is a veteran service officer, and that helps vets in your area, in your district, in your county. They have some place to go, they have an officer to talk to that they can get help for. But that's a federally funded title. It's going to take some lobbying by us to the state level, our local state representatives, Kristen Olson, Tim Gaines. It's going to take some help. Lundgren will no longer be our congressperson here in January, starting January 1st. We'll have a new one, whoever that may be, is in office there. Some relationships with them. I have a good relationship with Lundgren's office. So we may be able to start some platform to get that accomplished. But that's a federal position, federally funded. There are some state funds for it. Right now we have one funded that's only, Ray, if I'm correct, it's only like 8 hours a week right now that it's funded, or 4 hours a week. 4 hours a week it's funded. So that person is only available to service all of the vets that we have in this county for 4 hours a week. That's grossly under what needs to be. We need at least a 40-hour VSO. I'm heavily involved in my district in the vets here. Obviously, I've helped frame and donate materials. As a matter of fact, I have stage materials coming later this week here. I'm heavily involved in the VFW up close to 2,600 up to San Andreas. I've been involved in their ceremonies many times. I've been asked to be a civilian in a lot of their ceremonies up there. So I feel for you. I know what needs to be done, and it needs to be some lobbying on a level higher than us at a local level, on a federal or state level, to get the dollars in here to fund that. But I will do my best to get some money in for that.
Okay, there's a couple questions here that are basically the same. One is what we do to support the Valley Springs Youth Center, and the other one is what extra funds are you going to try for, and what organizations will you help? So I think they're the same question.
Okay, Valley Springs Youth Center and what other
Well, the question I want to ask is what extra funds are you going to try for, and what organizations will you help?
You mean private organizations, like the youth center?
I don't know what they
or
just.
I know where this question came from. I promised and committed to helping the youth center. Obviously, I've been very involved in a lot of things here over the course of the last couple months. We had a final budget, I'm campaigning, I've got a lot of committee things going on. I did tell Janice that I would commit some funds to her. There was a thing about saying that the county had funded that. I want to make clear that there was a community action agency, which I'm part of, that some funds at one time were going to that agency. Jeannie knows about the community action agency. However, this county almost lost those funds when I first came on board because of the way they were dispersing those. They were dispersing them illegally. It was almost, and if we'd have lost those funds, federal funds that came out, and if we'd have lost those funds, we'd have never got them back. So we were placed on probation for a period of 4 years that they scrutinized every single dollar that we put out. Jeannie knows, she has to keep record of every penny that goes to a low-income person. It cannot be spent. You cannot, part of the problem they had, they were putting all the money, the organizations were putting the money in the whole pot, their whole fund, and then they were just writing checks out of it. You gotta keep it separate. You gotta show the people who filled out forms saying it's proving that they have either paycheck stubs or whatever they have to verify that they're under the bare minimum of low income in order to qualify for those funds. So I want to clarify that. We're almost put under for that, but we were able to pull it out, and it's now thriving somewhat. But I will say this: I will commit. I have some fundraisers coming up. I will commit 5%. If I can, I will commit 10% to the youth center here in Valley Springs of all my fundraising money that I from here on out. I will commit that to the youth center.
Okay. How long has the youth center been in existence? 96 or 97? And just now, it's getting attention. So, I noticed that the Rotary is now helping out with it, which is a great organization. I belonged to Rotary for 7 years, and we did a lot of things to help the community. As a candidate, the only thing I could do is bring attention to it, help with the fundraisers. I'd be more than willing to do that. I donated to it already. Not me. Country Cliffs did, my restaurant. Country Cliffs donates to a lot of community activities and things. And we get hit every single day for something. We support the community quite a bit through our little restaurant. Probably in the thousands per year. I didn't want to look at my wife because she's the one that does most of the work there. So, but Valley Springs Youth Center is a very much needed organization here because we have Valley Springs. Unless you take a walk down here right now, and you'll see why that these guys are so important. Because these folks are molding or helping these kids stay out of trouble. They're giving them lots to do, lots of activities. And very important to support them. I think that they do a great job. They've done a great job with funding in the past. I'm glad the Rotary Club is now involved. They should have probably been involved 3 or 4 years ago. They probably wouldn't be in the situation that they're in now. And I know that Joyce was, or not Joyce, I'm sorry. I know that the Youth Center has a commitment from somebody to give them $15,000 if they can raise, how much?
No, it's a commitment for $5,000 if we can raise $15,000
There it is.
by the end of the month.
Okay,
Oh, that's time.
so that's it.
All right, this is our last question of the evening. Simple, we'll leave it flip. I appreciate the audience's patience and politeness tonight. Sometimes these things can be a little rowdy, but I think it's a testament to the character of the gentleman we have running for this office today. I think they're 2 good men, and I want to thank them now for being here today. The last question is, you're both small businessmen. Please describe your business. Tell us whether you built it or not. And also, how would your experience doing business in Calaveras County help you as a county supervisor?
It's better than TV, right? We have a small restaurant. There's only a couple of restaurants in San Andreas. As a matter of fact, if you look around in the county, you only find a few entrepreneur-type restaurants because it's a tough business. It's one of the toughest businesses in any industry, from what I've been told. I can only tell you about our experience, and we've been struggling for the past 8.5 years. We owned a Mexican restaurant in San Andreas before this. That was going along okay, but both restaurants were a little much for us to handle because of trying to find good help. Have you tried to hire in Calaveras County? We have a problem with hiring, finding good help. So we sold that business and we concentrate on Country Cliffs. And Country Cliffs used to be a business that was grossing about $275 a day when we took it over. And last year, because of we took it on, we got involved in the community, and we cleaned it up real good, cleaned up the food. It's no longer the greasy spoon. It took a couple of years to get over that one. We actually paid taxes. Now, all of this, and watching our tourism industry, which on the weekends we used to have 5 people working there, and now we have 2, and then I get called in to do the dishes if I have to. Okay, so a lot of it has to do with the way we managed it, and the way, and you know, the cuts that we had to make in order for us to be successful. But it's been tough here in Calaveras County. I got to tell you.
There's a question again?
Oh, you're both businessmen. Just please describe your business and how your business experience in Calaveras County will help you as a supervisor.
Well, my business is steel fabrication and erection business. It's in Stockton. I've had it, like I said earlier, for 22 years, and yes, it was a struggle. I left a secure job that I was making good money at to start my company. I worked for hours and hours and hours. My wife can tell you, she would worry I would come home 10, 12 o'clock at night after leaving at 5 in the morning. I worked many, many, many hours. It was a struggle to get my company successful. I started it in 1992 or 1, somewhere in there, I don't know right now. But it was a struggle. We became successful before the stock market crashed and all the stuff that happened with all the real estate problems. We were doing a lot. We were paying a lot of taxes. We were employing a lot of iron workers. We were doing very well. We scaled down. I did find out today, though, we got a couple jobs. How does that help me in being able to be a supervisor in Calaveras County? Well, those struggles or those opportunities in my past years as a manager in the company that I worked for, it's allowed me to be able to go to agencies and work with people and work with agencies such as Caltrans and Corps of Engineers and Fish and Game, Fish and Wildlife, to be able to sit down and talk with them and them understand what I'm talking about, and me understand what they're talking about. It's helped me. I'm on the change order crew or the change order committee for the jail here. I have saved the taxpayers in this county hundreds of thousands of dollars in change orders on that jail alone over the course of the last 8 to 9 months. Because I know what I'm looking at when I go in there. I know what the lingo is. I played that game. I know the markups. I know what's going on with the jail. But it just helped me with relationships. It's helped me with people. It's helped me being able to know when I go in and talk to you. When I go in and talk to you.
All right, sorry. Well, listen, you guys will all have an opportunity to stick around, and just want to.
We have a closer?
Pardon me? Was there a closing statement? No, that's no. You guys can. If you guys want to take 2 minutes and close, that'd be great.
Go ahead. I open first.
All right. So as you probably noticed, I'm not a politician.